Welcome to Coffee Break with Rachel Vigil, taking a daily look at the biggest stories in Denver sports and interacting live with you, the Coffee Break fam. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of joe, and enjoy your coffee break. Here's your host, Rachel Vigil.
And just like that, that's a wrap. The Denver Broncos say no practice today on Thursday. Welcome into Coffee Break because minicamp is over. No more roasting in the sun for these guys. They apparently looked good enough that Sean Payton said, take an extra day. You're going to be just fine, which does crack me up. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, you had to be there for 3 days total. And Coach Payton's like, 2 days. We saw what we needed. Go have an extra day. Have fun on vacation. I need our boss to do that. Cecil, Lammey, how are you?
Yeah, our boss is really pissed off that the Broncos did that. So sorry, James, I'm going to rat on you. He's calling this like it's a field day and circus. And I'm like, it's a day off, dude. Come on.
Nothing really matters until training camp anyways. Let's be completely honest. That's why we saw nothing really change over from OTAs to minicamp to here we are now. But of course, let's roll into it because Cecil, there have been lots of different conversations being had, of course, about the quarterbacks. And right now, it seems to be trending on social media that one of the rumors that has started is that Zach Wilson is very much in the mix of quarterbacks. And you and I are here to say, okay, Sean Payton may say that he's in the mix. He has to. They traded for him. But it's not really a 3-quarterback competition right now.
Yeah, Jordan Schultz on ESPN had reported that. And he's a good guy, good reporter. But that's agent talk. I mean, it's very obvious. And agents run most of the information that people get, which is corrupt. It's propaganda, basically, for the players. So Zach Wilson's in the mix. And I understand that your buddy, Kay Adams, she ran with that. She's my buddy as well. But, she ran with that on a segment of her show. And so fans are losing their mind and get, 1 million tweets a day that, Cecil said Zach Wilson's in the mix. No, he's not. He's bad at football. Throw him on the practice squad, develop him, and whatever. And for all the people he's better than you. Yeah, I played 6-man football in high school at quarterback, and I couldn't remember my plays pop, pass, out. So, yes, Zach Wilson's better than me. Congrats. But he should be nowhere near the starting job for the Denver Broncos, and that's clear. That's evident. What I enjoyed about Wednesday is weird because Bo Nix struggled. And I like
Bo Nix did struggle, but he also had some picture perfect plays at the exact same time. There were some of his passes where you were literally chef's kiss on that. But yeah, this is the first time it really feels like we saw the drafty, the young guy coming in and Bo Nix, where he didn't look extra solid. And I feel like we haven't seen a lot of that. We've been talking, I feel like every single day, we're like, oh, wow, looked really good today. Looks like he's up there with Stidham. He's understanding things. And today was one of those ones where you're like, he struggled a little bit more than usual.
A little bit through his first pick. And I usually stand by myself because not to sound bad, but I just kind of want to be left alone during practice.
People talk a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm not there to be like, wow, aluminum siding. Great. I don't care. Talk to me later after practice, whatever. Or don't talk to me at all. That's fine.
Yeah.
I was standing by myself and I saw Levi Wallace basically interfere with Lucas Krull on a play that was popped up. And then Levi Wallace gathered it in for the first interception for Bo Nix. And I'm sitting here over by myself, just throwing up the flag. To me, it was clearly a flag, but maybe the refs in a game would miss it or wouldn't call it. I mean, Sean Payton has a history of refs not calling things for his team because Roger Goodell hates him. But so that's debatable, but it was really good to see. And then there were throws where he's using his eyes. He's manipulating the defense. He's hitting guys in stride. So it was a mixed bag on Wednesday.
Oh, 100%. But yeah, some of those throws, I was like, he doesn't look like a rookie doing this because Zach Wilson looks more like the rookie than Bo Nix does. And that's obviously not the case. Overall, I feel like let's just look at minicamp as a whole. It was only 2 days. We can throw OTAs in there. Bo Nix has impressed me. I feel like he doesn't look like a rookie, which is what people want to hear. Because of where he was picked and because so many people were like, no, he is a round 2 drafty, everything. And the Broncos picked him at 12. They overdrafted him, which may technically be true. Like, he probably could have gone down to the 20. You don't think he could have gone down into the 20?
The Rams were taking him, or the Raiders might have taken him. Yeah. So he was the first round pick. He was the top 15 pick, which he's been for 2 years. So while some may believe that, Rachel, I'm stubborn and emotional and opinionated,
I love that.
I will say I stick by my story. Like, he was the top 15 pick for 2 years. If anybody's saying that, they're, I don't want to say hater, but it's highly misinformed in my opinion.
Okay. I mean, and all that can be true, right? Zach Wilson can also be in the mix. It's whatever you want to believe, but Bo Nix has, in fact, impressed, and that's been good. I was nervous because, of course, I'm even hearing the chatter of people saying, no, like, they overpicked him, they overdrafted him, etc. Seeing him out there, Cecil, gives me a little bit of hope, and it should give Broncos country hope that maybe they did get their guy. Sean Payton got his guy with Bo Nix.
Yep. And he's going to be pushed by Jarrett Stidham, which is nothing but a good thing for that young man. And the discipline, the consistency in, hearing from Joe Lombardi, hearing from Davis Webb, both pretty much had the same answer of how has Bo Nix surprised you? Surprised you. It's that he's so damn consistent. Consistent effort every day. All about ball, kind of a dry sense of humor. I think Lombardi said that, but it's like, he's not out there to tell jokes and like, hey guys, I made it to the NFL. He's there to be as good as he can be, as fast as he can be.
No, I'm totally with you. I also thought, now that you mentioned Davis Webb, I thought it was fascinating how when they asked about, somebody kind of like Zach Wilson, I don't think they mentioned him in the question, but it was like, how do you, bring these guys in and try and mold them when maybe they've learned the like incorrect things, essentially things that don't fit, or just, bad habits, routines. And I like Davis Webb saying, I think a lot of people, they tend to say, nope, this is how it's going to be. You need to learn it our way. And it feels like they're trying to be very fluid of like, let's take what you're really good at and emphasize that in the play. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see how this goes along through training camp.
That's why Davis Webb is a future head coach.
Yeah.
I think there's probably 3 on this staff that are future head coaches in the league, and Davis Webb is at the top of that list. He might be the next man up. And it's because of that coaching style, understanding how to teach as a coach. First and foremost, you're a teacher. If you have a favorite teacher, what was your favorite teacher, right? Who was it and why? Well, it's probably because they let you be you. My favorite teacher, Mr. Healy, my English and history teacher, and he let me be me. And, that was awesome. I got to learn, and those are 2 of my favorite subjects, English and history. Why? Because I had fun and I learned and I got to be me and study the way I wanted to. The players, it's the same thing. Teaching is the same across all platforms, no matter what you're teaching.
No, I'm totally with you. One thing I feel like you and I haven't specifically talked a whole lot about is the linebacker position. And I think there's like a lot of questions about what that's going to look like. Who has impressed you / how are you feeling overall about the group?
Nervous. Now, Alex Singleton will have the big bodies up front that'll lead the way. And so he's a heat-seeking missile. But it's not like a missile that you can program to go somewhere else in case something changes. Like, you program it for one spot, and Alex Singleton's going to attack that one spot, and he's going to get there in a hurry, and he's going to be violent. He arrives at the play with bad intentions. Sometimes it's the wrong play, though. And that's an issue. We'll see if the big bodies up front, Malcolm Roach, John Franklin Myers, kind of help alleviate that. Better play from DJ Jones. He's got to be healthy. I've seen too many of these type of plays. I'm going to move my mic real quick. From Cody Barton.
Yes.
There's too many of those, like, I could have had that. I saw one today. So that makes at least 2 over the last week in 3 practices of like, dude, I don't want you to slap your hands. I want you to make the flip and play. And he's like a step late. And these are passes against Stidham or Bo Nix. So it would be worse if it was against Zach Wilson. Like, yeah, make a plays against that guy. But like, too many of those, like, oh man, no, Cody, like, make that play. I know you can make the play. They need you to make the play, but make that play. And that's where the concern and coverage comes.
Okay, there's another player that I see doing this quite a lot we're going to get into, but I do want to just talk about JFM because he has been so fun to watch, Cecil. Like, I feel like it's been a second since there's been a player who clearly enjoys it so much that they're actually fun to watch out there.
Yeah, him and Roach, because Roach, we can't repeat what he says, but he will tell you
He likes it.
what he's thinking. Very colorful language, if you will. So like both those two bring a little bit of fun, and it's different because Zach Allen's pretty buttoned up.
Mhm.
I've kind of given him a pass. He's not really good to talk to. Not that he's mean or rude. He just doesn't give you a whole lot. Maybe that's by design. Maybe he's got social anxiety. I don't know. But I kind of give him a little bit of a pass for that. DJ Jones has some personality, but he's got to stay healthy. And these two new guys have a bunch of personality up front.
I like the personality. I think it adds a little bit of fire to this group that I'm excited to see. Okay, my player that's doing this a lot, Courtland Sutton. I saw it yet again today, Cecil. Another dropped pass, and here he is, and he's like clapping his hands, and I'm like, Courtland. It's frustrating. We're seeing drop passes. We're seeing some nice passes too that are caught, and then we're also seeing him run the hillside over and over again. But did you notice where he was during one of the team periods when the quarterbacks were away from everybody, when they were doing, I believe, we were doing some kicking during that time? Did you see where Courtland Sutton was?
No.
He was by himself hanging out with the quarterbacks, just chilling, not working out, not doing anything with them. So I don't know if he was just talking with them, if he was over there for moral support. I don't know what it was, but I did find it a little interesting of like, okay, are you trying to build chemistry with these three guys again by just sitting down having conversations, or are you not wanting to be over there with your team? It was one of those things where I wasn't entirely sure.
Yeah, I just want better chemistry, and that comes from being there. So I hope when training camp rolls around, Courtland Sutton shows up.
Yeah.
It was his decision, per Sean Payton, to talk to the media yesterday, which is good. It's a good decision for Court.
Great.
Although he did not, he used it for his own advantage. I would guess perhaps there might have been a text exchange between Court and his agent. Like, they said it was my decision. What should I do? And then his agents text him back. This is just a total guess. So no inside information, nothing. No Lassie bark either. But there might have been a text exchange of like, go talk to him and then tell him this. Because there was a clear message. It was almost like product placement in a movie, where it's like, boy, when I need to cool off and refresh, I drink a Mountain Dew Zero calories, zero sugar, great taste. It's like, wait a second, what?
And Courtland Sutton's was, I really want to be here and be a Denver Bronco, but I really also want to get paid. So please pay me.
Yeah, product placement was himself, right? Yeah. I'm Courtland Sutton, and I'm hired here to play football for money. But it's a stalemate. It's a stalemate, guys. Did you know it's a stalemate? Guess what? It's a stalemate. I think his agent has given him bad advice, and I would get a new agent. I think he's a family friend. It's just kind of some of the buzz I've picked up on. But hey, Court, your family friend doesn't have a great reputation among scouts. So there you go.
Interesting. Okay, what else stood out to you from minicamp this week?
Yeah, Lucas Kroll is that dude. He's that dude. We didn't see Greg Dulcich again. That's a problem.
He is out there. Like, I saw him today, but he's not out there.
Not doing anything. Yeah. I didn't even see him running the hill today. We saw him running the hill on a Tuesday. So okay, man. Luke Wattenberg's your center.
Yep.
Spoiler alert. Like, it's no competition. There's no Alex Forsyth. On both days of mandatory minicamp, it was Luke Wattenberg at center. There is a chance that this offensive line is even better this season. Maybe a top 5 unit. They were already top 10 last year. So could they move into the top 5? Certainly. Jaleel McLaughlin looks like the lead running back, as incredulous as that may be. My Twitter timeline blew up. I don't usually pay attention, but because Sigmund tweeted out one thing that I said about, hey, I don't even know if Javonte makes the team. So everyone's losing their mind. I'm like, I think somebody was like, oh, is that a hot take, slow offseason news day? No, come to practice.
Javonte
before you do this, come to practice and watch. You'll see Javonte doesn't look like Javonte.
Javonte looks so complacent, like he's either timid and nervous that he's going to get injured again, something like that, or he just assumes that he's going to be RB number 1, but he looks complacent, and that's not a good place to be.
Nope. And for people saying, well, the pad's got to come. Yes, for the love of God, there's nothing worse.
Yeah.
Then, well, you guys are getting excited about practice. Well, what do we know? Hey, guys, we don't know anything.
Yeah.
It's not September. We can't tell you anything.
Yeah.
Like, no, of course, the pads need to come on. Jaleel McLaughlin needs to prove himself in pass pro, where this doesn't mean anything. Sean Payton called him a change of pace receiver last week. So it doesn't mean anything if he can't pass block. But you know what? If he can, even just a little bit, he could be the lead back. People said Philip Lindsay was too small. How'd that work out?
True. No, the running back situation is also, there's so many, and Sean Payton talks about it all the time, where he's like, you're worrying about your secondary, you got linebackers, you got wide receivers, you got running backs, and you got quarterbacks. Like, there's going to be so many different moves that we're all kind of paying attention to during training camp, but running backs definitely one. Like, there's no guarantee that Javonte is going to be RB1. Like, that's not promised, and with the way he's looked, I would actually kind of be shocked if he is.
His spot on the roster is not promised. You know, we immediately...
That's crazy, though, Cecil. Like, that's insane to think about.
But this is called Not For Long for a reason, you know? Yeah. And I'll point everyone back to Antonio Pittman, where it's like he was a 4th-round pick. Pierre Thomas was undrafted. In a year, they'd moved on from Pittman. In a year. So it's like when Audric Estime was drafted, Samaje's going to be gone. Samaje looks like Samaje. There's nothing wrong with Samaje Perine. There's something off with Javonte.
Yeah. Now he's looking nice and beefed up a little. You know what I mean? Like, he can power through some people. Maybe he's going to be carrying people on his back.
Well, imagine a running back by committee with Jaleel McLaughlin as your lead back and Samaje Perine as your change of pace.
Okay, wait.
Power is a change of pace too.
Yeah, I know people that hate running back by committee. How do you feel?
I mean, I'm old, so like I remember the day when Harold Green, right? Unless you're a South Carolina fan or a Cincinnati Bengals fan, will remember like when backs that were pretty average just kept getting the ball and they'd get 1,000 yards because it was just, that was football, right? So I'm an old school, you know, guy. You're going to get one back and you're going to ride it out with the guy. Running back by committee's taken over. I remember Big Al telling me, you know, probably 10 years ago, he's like, this league's becoming a specialist league. And we were talking running back specifically. So unless you have a special back, you're going to have a committee and you're going to have a specialist. And to me, it only makes sense. I may not like it. Who cares though? Right. I mean, it's just what the league does. And that's the trend. So the trend is to use 2, use 3. And Sean Payton has always used at least 2.
There you go. Look back at his story with what Sean Payton's done. Nice job, Cecil.
Well, I mean, look at Pierre Thomas, right?
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara. Yep. You know, he's had Mark Ingram. There was a time when Chris Ivory was making plays for him. There was one year where he had 4 backs that were really good, and he just used them all.
Why not?
Yeah.
Real quick, because we both love him dearly, so I'm not trying to like poke anything. How do you feel about Mace's stance right now of like quarterback by committee in a way that we're going to see Jared Stidham and Bo Nix and Zach Wilson at some point this season?
He didn't say Zach, did he?
I think he did the other day. He was like, I think we could see a rotation of them.
I will say this. At the end of the day, obviously all due respect to Mace, like what's best for Bo Nix? Is it you have a Bo Nix package? It's not unusual.
Is it what's best for Bo Nix or what's best for the Denver Broncos?
It should be for Bo Nix, honestly. Like, and rarely do you put a player ahead of the team. But this is a first-round quarterback. It's much different. Yeah. So for me, is introducing him in a package, right? Like, oh, it's a Bo Nix package because it's the 3rd quarter and you're out of it or whatever. Throw in Bo Nix, get his feet wet, whatever. If that's what the coaching staff deems best, then I will side with that. I'm not going to lose my mind. If Zach Wilson's in, something went terribly wrong. Terribly wrong. So is it quarterback by committee? I mean, it's been done in the past. It was done with Roger Staubach and Craig Morton back in the 70s before they had decided on Roger Staubach. He's a Hall of Famer. They didn't know, and they would rotate by play, by the way. It's only happened one other time, and it was with Dan Reeves with the Denver Broncos with Tommy Maddox and Sean Moore, where they would rotate on plays. Wow. So I don't think that happens. That's very, very rare. Yeah. But until you figure out what's best for Bo can start. Bo can start week 1. We'll see if that actually happens. But if not, if they figure out a different formula, my simple answer in football and in life, what works, right? I don't want to go Dr. Phil barnyard psychology on you, but it's like, how's that working out? Hey, they forced Bo Nix out there. He wasn't ready and it ruined him. How'd that work out? hey, Bo Nix was totally ready and they started week 1. How'd that work out? If you're
Mhm.
telling me this will work best for him, I'll sign off on it. Unless Zach Wilson plays, because that's horrible.
Are you gonna be pissed if Zach Wilson is like up in the question marks? Like we're still like, is Zach gonna possibly start week 1? Are you gonna be ticked?
It's a waste of our time. You know what I mean? I think it's a waste of us in the media. And it's all about us, Rachel. Of course, we are talent. We are divas. Like,
We are.
I feel like watch the movie Just Friends, and then we're the talent in that movie. Daddy, I'm the talent, right? Like that's you and I, right? So it is about you and me. But you know what's a waste of time for you and me? And it's different from radio. In radio, you bring up these conversations like, what if Zach Wilson starts week 1? What does that mean for the Broncos?
Yeah.
Next, like that's radio.
Because you're filling so much time on radio.
Yeah, YouTube is different, right? What we
We
do
get
is
to
different. Let's
pound
talk
it.
about the facts. Seek the truth and speak the truth. Zach Wilson's not good at football. Next.
Can we say not very good at football? Because like he's in the NFL still.
For now.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, that is going to end this episode, though. Cecil, Lammey, and I have had so much freaking fun out there at OTAs and minicamp. It has been a blast. We have gotten burned together. Cecil has worn beanies out there in the 80-degree weather. It has been a blast. And same with hanging out with you guys for all of our post-practice recaps. So thank you guys so much. And we will see you guys on Friday. I'm going to be giving you my 5 things that I have paid attention to and noticed out there at every single Broncos open practice. I hope you tune in with me tomorrow on Friday. We will see you guys then. Bye, everyone.